Bunka Shi Shu is an art which originated in Japan at the turn of the century. You can stitch a beautiful picture by using special rayon thread and a punch needle, which will create texture and dimensions. Hi, I'm Bonnie Ralph. I have been involved in Bunka Shi Shu, commonly known as Japanese punch embroidery, for over 20 years in teaching, manufacturing, and design. After you have mastered these stitches, you will be able to do many kits manufactured by Bunka With Flair. We offer a complete line of products to start you off on your new hobby. Some of the products are reusable, and that's what we'll begin with. Work frame, needles, clippers, winding cards, tacks, needle threader, brush, followed by the kit of your choice. Let's look inside and see what a kit contains. Picture to work from, a canvas with numbers. Your thread has corresponding numbers and step-by-step instructions. Now is the time to prepare our kit. Let's start with our thread. When you remove your threads from the box, they will be tied into a bundle. Never undo the bundle. Taking the required number thread you need and just pull down, and it will come out of your bundle, and this stays intact. Each skein of thread has a paper tie at the top and a numbered tab at the bottom. Place your thread over your hand through the large circle, and all you have to do is twist the tie and it will come off. Now, taking the numbered tab at the bottom, you're going to pull down and remove the paper tab. Writing the colored number 181, because the tab says 181, on a winding card, you're ready to start winding your thread. If you keep your hand in the center at all times, you will prevent knotting. Now what you want to do is rotate the thread around your hand, and you will find a section that comes up with a knot. Lift the knot, let the other area drop, and you will end up with a large loop. Undo the knot and let one end fall to the ground. You will lift each circle off the thread until there isn't anything left. Taking your winding card, there is a slot at the top. You're going to place your thread through the slot, turn your card sideways, and begin to wind your thread like a spool. You do not want to wind it too tight because you don't want to make creases in your thread along the edge of the cardboard. The next technique will be learning how to pull your thread. When you start to stitch using your Bunka thread, it must be unraveled. When you want to unravel your thread, you go to the very top section of the thread and pick it with your fingernails until you get a little piece of fluff. Holding this fluff in your fingers, give a little jerk, and it will run like a nylon stocking. When it relaxes, it forms all these little curls, and as you punch into your stretch fabric, the curl makes a little ball that holds on to the back. This is what keeps the thread into your fabric. It is very important to have a nice even curl. This thread is knit in the round of 4. A nice even curl we refer to as a 2/4 pull. You want to make sure when you're pulling your thread, your fingernail does not touch it. Nothing touches it when it's in movement. When you are pulling your Bunka thread, you will notice that it sounds like a zipper running. Going back to when we started to pull our 2/4 pull, we obtained first a little piece of fluff. If you grab a little more than the fluff, sometimes you'll end up with a 3/4 pull. You will notice here the 3/4 thread has turned into little blobs of thread, and it's in different sections. Your purple thread is the nice even curled 2/4 pull, and that's the one you want at beginner level. Let's examine the needle. First of all, it resembles a pencil. It has a point known as a shank. It has the tube or barrel along with a hole in the very top. Along the side of the needle, which is considered the front, there is a long slit that leads to a little round hole in the side. This is considered the headlight. The headlight always looks the way it's going when you're stitching. Placing the 2/4 thread in the very top hole of your needle, you're going to take your needle threader and scoop some thread out that side hole. Holding your needle on the side with the side hole and the slot facing the ceiling, bring your needle threader from underneath, placing it through the eye of the needle, pointing towards the ceiling. Now everything is looking up. Here's a teacher's tip. It's a good idea to have several needles threaded with different colors of thread. It helps save time. The next step will be to stretch a canvas onto a work frame. It's time now to put your canvas on your work frame. The wooden work frame should be very sturdy. It does not have a right or wrong side. Taking your canvas, you're going to place it and center it over your work frame. Now we want to tack it up by starting with a tack in each of the four corners, giving it a nice firm stretch. The last corner. Our thumbtacks are placed, stretching your fabric every ½ inch. Once you have your canvas all stretched up and tacked, you should be able to tap it like a drum. Now the enjoyment begins. Let's start basic stitching. The first stitch we will master will be the running stitch. You're going to punch into your printed design, turn your work frame over and pinch the shank of the needle. Pull the needle out and you'll be left holding a loop of thread. Holding that loop, return to the front of your canvas and take one stitch and pull that little thread through. Now we're going to stitch along this line using ½ inch length stitches. Withdraw your needle from the canvas and slide the point along ½ inch, punch into the tube. Slide along ½ inch, punch down to the tube. Now while I am doing this in a continuous motion, behind the canvas, I'll show you what's happening. Once you have punched in down as far as the tube will go, your needle will be extended as far as possible on the other side. Placing your finger on top of the needle, pull it out and just follow it through because it makes a little ball and you want to rest your finger on that ball. Go to the next one, punch in, follow your finger along, follow it out and rest it on the little ball. To the next stitch, out, rest it on the ball. To the next stitch, finger on it, pull it out and rest. Continuing in a ½ inch length stitch, you're going to continue to the bottom of the line. Now I would like to show you how to stop. Punch your needle in as far as it will go, flip over the canvas, place your 2 fingers on each side of the shank, return to the front side of the canvas, pull your needle out while you're still holding a little loop at the back. You can cut from the front and give a little scratch with your fingernail and the tail will go back to the back side of your canvas. We're going to fill in this little area with rows of stitches. You're going to start and stop like we did before by punching in, take a stitch, and then pull your little tail through. And this can be done just by scratching. Now you want to take ½ inch stitches, but you want to stagger your stitch. You do not want to punch in the same location all the time. As you draw along the canvas, and it's most important to keep the point on the surface at all times, pass the punch mark from the previous row and drag. You do not want to punch in the same location all the time. You should not see any canvas between the rows. When you reach the end of the